Welcome to the afternoon experiment. My name is Emanuel Livingston. I'm with you, um, probably till about 5 o'clock. Probably till about 5 o'clock. I didn't think I would get here this early, but I'm here a little. Well, I mean, I know I'm late from my normal 3 o'clock start, but I'm early from when I thought I was gonna make it. Hold on, make a quick adjustment here and there and there. Okay. All right. So I'm earlier than I thought I was going to make it. Of course, I'm later than I normally try to start. But I'm here. Come on in. Hello to everyone. Hello to everyone. We got Robert Willis already in the house. Robert Willis. I see Miss Pittsburgh is here. Miss Pittsburgh. Hold on. I'm going to put the names up. I'm going to put the names up in just a second. Oh. Yes. And she also said put the comments up. All right. So the comments can go up quickly. Thank you, Miss Pittsburgh. But we got Miss Pittsburgh in the house. She says, good afternoon, everyone. We got Robert Willis. Robert Willis in the house. Good afternoon, Robert Willis. Good afternoon, Miss Pittsburgh. We have Anthony. Anthony says the wood is in the house. Yes, the wood is in the house. We have LaDonna. Good afternoon, LaDonna. we gotta talk. We gotta talk about your employment history. Good afternoon. We got Maria. Maria now, North College Hill represented. Good afternoon, Maria. It's good to see you too, Miss Pittsburgh. Good to see you too. Got Deshaun. Deshaun. So what's up? Checking in from Ivy Woods Nursing Home in Cincinnati. All right. Well, I appreciate you checking in. Dwayne from Mount Airy. Good afternoon, Dwayne. Thank you for checking us out. Thanks for the support. We got David in the house. David in the house. Good afternoon, David. Checking in from the universe. The universe. Preston says, Preston checking in. All right. Good afternoon, Preston. Thank you for your support. Deshaun says, Price Hill in a healthcare center. Deshaun, I appreciate you checking us out. I appreciate you checking us out. I really do. Carolyn, checking in from East Walnut Hills. We got Sean in the house. Good afternoon, Sean. Checking us out from the ATL, if I recall correctly. P. Copenhaver. See, I can't see that. Oh, yeah. P. Copenhaver. Hey, good afternoon. Thank you for checking us out on Twitch. You representing Twitch. And that's a big deal. That's a big deal for me anyway. So thank you for checking us out. We got Victoria. Victoria in the house. Good afternoon, Victoria. Tracy. Tracy in the house. Good afternoon, Tracy. Good afternoon, Logic Slayer. Good afternoon. Avondale, represent Avondale. Regina, representing Beachmont. Beachmont, I used to have some really good friends that lived out in Beachmont. They were two of the nicest young ladies until they stopped liking me. And then they were not the nicest ladies. And then they started liking me again. And so we became friends again. And they were nice again. All of that just from Beachmont. McConnell in the house. Good afternoon, McConnell. Good afternoon. We got April. April. Working near Avondale. Well, you represent near Avondale, April. You are their representative. Brenda, good afternoon. Brenda, good afternoon. Fairfield. Fairfield checking us out. We got Darren. Darren says, hey to everybody. Or is that, hey, yeah, that's hey all. For a minute, I thought it said, hey AI. It's like, he's really speaking to artificial intelligence? But that wouldn't have made much sense. Quintano. Quintano in the house. Chilling in A1, which is a little different than AI. Good afternoon. me see. Hold on, hold on. Sean says, tell us about Gospel Fest. It's Gospel Super Fest. I'll tell you about it if you'd like me to. Karen, good afternoon. Karen checking us out from Westwood. Yes, Gospel Superfest is this show that we do, almost every year. Like, the pandemic shut it down for like 2 years. But, uh, well, this year, John P. Key, Doe, Donnie McClurkin, I'm trying to rattle this stuff off the top of my head. See, I'm kind of drawing a blank. What is the young lady's name? She's a young girl. She sings really well. I don't know why I can't remember her name. I'm gonna have to pull it up. Hold on, cause I'll tell y'all just since you asked, I'll tell y'all about Gospel Superfest. This year, Gospel Superfest will be in Jacksonville, Florida, hosted by Roxy Diaz, formerly of. She used to be on BET. I don't remember. I don't remember the show. Demetrius West, Crystal Aiken, Melvin Crispo, of course. I said Donnie McClurkin. Hold on. Jacqueline Carr, that's the young lady whose name I was trying to think of. But anyway, it'll be in Jacksonville, Florida, recording for BET. It'll be broadcast on BET later on. And that's what I'll be doing next week. There's a lot of moving parts to that show. We're working on some of Ricky Dillard. I forgot Ricky Dillard will be there. We're working on some of the elements, of course, that'll be put in there. Still editing some of the videos and things of that nature. So, it'll be a good time. It'll be a good time. I'll have a good time. Of course, I'll include. I do the stuff that I do here. Then I do the stuff that I do leading up to the show. Then on the show, I'm the stage manager. And then after that, then I have a few more things that I have to do for the show. So Preston says 106 in Park. Yes, that's the show she was on. That's the show she was on, 106 in Park. But it'll be a good time, good hard work, and I'll be really tired when I get back. And that's the gist of Gospel Superfest. It's one of the it's a whole lot of different stuff that he says that I know, but I don't internalize it that way, and I don't want to say it different, like it's the longest running something, or it's the most widely distributed something or another. But if I say it, I'll say it wrong, and then he'll be like, no, it's not the most widely distributed this, it's the most widely distributed that, it's not the longest running this, it's the longest running that. And then I'm like, it's a big deal. It's a big deal. The shirt that says sound like a winner. Sound like a winner. Hold on. There's wrong way. Sound like a winner. So what we got going on today? Here's what I know. Apparently, hold on. As y'all know, of course, I just walked in, and I have an idea of a couple of things that I want to discuss. Of course, I want to discuss the police. Police officer injured in attack after being lured by false report of a robbery. Cincinnati police officer was taken to the hospital. Was taken to the hospital after being attacked near a park on Tuesday. That's what the Cincinnati Police Department says. Happened around 11 a.m. When police responded to Beaumont Place in Price Hill. Report of a robbery. According to police, the suspect, identified as 19-year-old Jermichael Williams, intentionally called 911 and falsely reported the robbery offense to lure officers to that location. According to the documents, the officer was responding to the robbery when Williams punched the officer in the face repeatedly before getting on top of the officer to assault him. That is horrible. Quote, it seems that the intention was to lure a policeman in so he could attack and possibly even kill a policeman. If it wasn't for help from his family and other officers being close by, there's no telling how far this attack would have went. There is no telling. He even considered going for his firearm, but the suspect beat him to that and was trying to pull away his firearm. I don't know if that's true. It's coming from Dan Hills. So you don't know what is and what isn't true coming from Dan Hills. Um, Court documents state 4 people stepped in to get Williams off the officer. During the assault, court documents state the officer attempted to use his taser but was unsuccessful. Court documents stated Williams then threatened to kill sheriff deputies at the jail and everyone else at the Justice Center. Wow, he was off the chain. Police said the officer has been treated and released. Williams is set to appear in court on Wednesday, which is today, on the following charges: felonious assault, aggravated robbery, making a terroristic threat, failure to disclose personal information, and resisting arrest. According to Hills, which of course is Hills, so you can take this all with a grain of salt, the officer is a veteran of the force. Hills also stated the family told him the suspect suffers from mental illness and wasn't taking his medication at the time of the offense. This is also quotes from Hills, and whether it's true or not, you never know. It's coming from Dan Hills. It says, I talked at length to the officer, and he said that he just appeared as though he was in another world. The way his eyes were, the way he came at him. It's really frustrating. It's also frightening that this keeps happening. There's something obviously wrong with the system of how we handle a lot of these mentally ill individuals, many of whom have violent and criminal patterns. Hamilton County Prosecutor Melissa Powers released a statement on Tuesday saying, in part, under no circumstances will violence against our police be tolerated in Hamilton County. If you assault a cop, you better be ready to go to prison. Officials said the investigation is ongoing and nothing further at this time. All right. Let me say this. I just saw my Elsa's comment. Oh, no. Thank you, nice titties. You a damn hater. You are a hater. Oh, that is horrible. Oh, that is horrible. But yeah, apparently there was a police officer who was attacked. And, the family helped him pull the guy off, according to this report. And he was arrested and good. And I want to be clear about this first, before I say anything else, because people will try to twist like different things that I say. People love to twist things that I say. I support good law enforcement. I support police officers. I don't want to see a single police officer, not even the ones that are bad. And there are a lot of bad officers. I don't even want to see them hurt. I don't want to see them hurt people either. I don't want to see anyone hurt. So you shouldn't be attacking police officers, and police officers shouldn't be attacking citizens who they have no right to attack. Right? So I support police. I don't think people should attack police. It's wrong. It's bad. Again, I have friends and family members who work in law enforcement. Man, I don't want them to get a call to some bogus robbery and then get attacked. So I want to be clear about that. So nothing that I say moving forward changes that. Nothing that I say moving forward changes that. But I want to look at this situation. and the way people are handling it and talking about it. And look, first, let me say police officers are people. Police officers are people. And I mean that in every way possible. Police officers are people. And they're not special super citizens. They're not less than any other citizens. They're people, just like everybody else. They have a job, and I presume that a good number of them want to come in, do their job to the best of their ability, and go home like, the overwhelming majority of us. They happen to have a job where it's possible that they'll interact with angry or violent or, any other number of people, criminals and things of that nature, and catch a lot of people at their very worst moments. That just is a part of some of their jobs. It just is. Again, what bothers me is outside of because look at what happened. An attack happened. Because I want to flip this in a moment. Someone thought of some criminal behavior, acted on it, attacked law enforcement, citizens, being that person's family allegedly, and other officers came to the rescue and helped that officer. That person who committed that crime was then arrested, put in jail, and charged. Everything other than the criminal behavior, the calling a police officer to say that there's a robbery when there isn't, and attacking a police officer, everything else happened the way that it should happen. Look, if you have a family member who commits crime, you shouldn't stand for it. And if you watch them commit crime and don't do anything about it, in my opinion, you just as guilty. So if those family members saw their relative attacking a police officer, allegedly trying to take his gun, I don't know about that part. According to this story that came from Dan Hills, which means 50-50. It could be true, it could be a lie. 50-50. But had they just watched and their family member beat and killed a police officer while they stood there and watched and did nothing, I would say they're part of the problem. I would say that. And I would mean it. They're part of the problem. But they didn't. They stepped in. They did something. They helped stop this horrible situation. Then, like I said, the dude was arrested, which he should have been if, what they're saying is true. He's charged, which he should have been. He's in jail, which he should be. If everything they're saying is true, he should be. Oh, if you attack a police officer, then you're going to prison. You should be prepared to go to prison. Okay, I agree with that. So I want to be on record. I agree. But I have to look at the other side too. There is no other side, Emanuel. It's always another side. See, I watch stuff like this, and when stuff like this happens, we give all of this extra sympathy and everything to law enforcement. I don't have a problem with that. But then people are criticized when law enforcement beat somebody's ass, attempt to kill them. And we don't see them arrested a lot of times, go to jail, face these charges. Other law enforcement don't typically come in and stop law enforcement from doing bad stuff to people. They typically sit there and watch and maybe join in and lie about what happened for their fellow officers. Things happen right here. This happened right. I want to see it happen right to us. Where is the prosecutor when there's cases of police misconduct, police violating people's rights, police abusing people? It happens, y'all. Where is Melissa standing up talking about if law enforcement abuses a citizen, be prepared to go to prison? Because we don't see that. Maybe if they kill them and then you can prove that, there were some exceptionally horrible circumstances and you got it on video and, the stars and everything align right, then maybe they'll go to prison. Heck, maybe they'll lose their job. Just like I don't want to see people attacking police officers. I don't want to see police officers attacking citizens. And we got all of this super sympathy now. Oh, this keeps happening. This is, a couple times that this has happened. And it's terrible when it happens. It's terrible. But I hear people talking about this stuff right now. Like, and maybe it is. Maybe it is. Maybe there's been some rash and I need to get numbers. Yes, I heard about the one at the park, and I heard about this one where officers were attacked and put in the hospital. But has this happened 365 times this year? Where officers were attacked and put in the hospital? That would be bad, wouldn't it? Wouldn't it? Everything happened the way it was supposed to happen, apparently, allegedly, in this case. Good. I don't like them trying to spin it as if, this is at epidemic proportions. I don't really care for the intimidation tactics of a gang of police showing up at the arraignment, basically to intimidate the judge into giving a high bond. I don't like that. But they got a right to do what they want to do. And they got a right to. I don't know. I look at this stuff maybe a little different than everybody else. I really want to see equality. I really want to see that. Preston says, these kind of incidents involving police officers make the aggressive ones overly aggressive. I think the ones that are overly aggressive, they don't need a reason to be overly aggressive. The aggressive ones are going to be aggressive. It's what they do. And the other ones, a lot of them, sit back and watch them. While they may not be aggressive, they appreciate the aggressive ones. That sounds crazy for me to say. How would you say something like that? I've talked to enough law enforcement officials who know some of these bad officers, and they know they're bad. It's not like the bad officers, other officers believe that they're good. Other officers know that they're bad. And so those are the ones that they want on the force. Where we need to weed out the bad officers. They don't want to weed out bad officers. Trust me when I tell you this. They don't want to weed out bad officers. They don't. They want them on the force. They want the aggressive ones who body slam people and punch and kick people and, brutalize people. They want them on the force. And if they're being honest, like, you got to catch them, like, it's got to be your friend. Somebody that they know you ain't going to go put their name out here. So-and-so said, they got to know that that's not going to happen. And you got to be cool with them. They got to know you being honest, and therefore they can be honest with you. And those are the ones that tell you, look, if I'm ever in a situation, I want that guy coming in just like he is. I want him all aggressive. I want him ready to crack some heads. Look, believe it or not, I don't really blame them for that. Because hell, if I'm in a situation where I need some assistance, I don't want Jimmy the vet coming helping me. You know what I'm saying? I want my cousin Peanut. That's who I want. Yes, Peanut. I want you showing up. But Peanut, like, he lose control. Peanut to kill somebody. I want Peanut. Oh, I hold his legs for you. Peanut ain't holding nobody legs for me. Peanut ain't holding nobody legs for me. When Peanut done, somebody, you pick him up by the legs, I'll pick him up over here, and then we can throw him over there. So I understand it. But it ain't, it ain't one of these deals where police want bad police officers. You think police want bad police officers out there? I know police want bad police officers out there. I know it for a fact. I've talked to police officers who's told me that. Oh, we know what kind of officer he is. We know that. But if it go down, that's who I want showing up. What, code 3 or whatever it is they say. That's who I want showing up. Now, none of that is an excuse to attack a police officer. People should not attack police officers. But everything happened here based on everything I see the way it was supposed to happen. Some potentially mentally ill person did something criminal. His family member, citizens jumped in and helped. Law enforcement jumped in and helped. He was arrested. He's in jail as we speak. So what is it that police officers want? Oh, they want mental health services to step up and do something. They want mental health services to step up and do something. Man, I think we all want that. We don't just want it so that people won't attack law enforcement. We want it because we know that there's a lot of people out here. Yeah, some of the people running around shooting people in your neighborhood, in your community, some of them got mental health issues too. And we want these people off of our streets for our safety. I think we can all agree on this. And I understand that a lot of times stuff is just, you don't think about something. You don't think about something until it happened to you. And, maybe that's the case here. Law enforcement, like, man, all these crazy zombies running around these streets, don't care, committing crimes, hurting people. They got mental issues. Excuse me. They got mental issues, but that ain't our problem. Our problem is to arrest them. Just arrest them. Get them off the streets. That's our problem. Arrest them. Oh, they gonna attack you. Well, hold on. Now we need some services. We need services now. We got to do something about it because now it's at my doorstep. And sometimes that's just the way it happens. That's just the way it happens. People don't. I can't say always, but people don't usually get into like autism awareness until they have an autistic child or an autistic child is born into their families. Until then, you just you're walking around, head in the clouds. People do that when their heads are in it. That's the song they sing. You don't think about it. Then your sister have an autistic child, and you're like, oh my goodness, what we gonna do? People need to be more aware of this. There's nothing wrong with that. There is nothing wrong with that. We don't necessarily want them off the street. We need them to address their mental health. However, most people with mental illness don't believe they have mental illness. Well, when I say we want them off the street, I want them off the street in their mentally ill state. And so, that's kind of the way you put it is probably a better way to put it. But yeah, if you're mentally ill, you need to be treated and not be walking around y'all know my terminology. I'm not like a mental health advocate, but not be walking around actively mentally ill. Get treated if you need, medication, or if you need counseling, or if you need whatever. I want you treated before you just out here walking around harming people. So that's what I mean when I say I want them off the street. If you're not safe, if your mental illness creates a situation where you're not safe to be out amongst people, I don't want you out amongst people until you done dealt with that. And I agree. It just seems to make sense to me that people with mental illness don't believe they have a mental illness. Everything seems to be normal to you. That makes sense to me. Hold on, let me see. Valerie says cops about to ramp up the aggressive position because of these incidents. See, I think cops might use these incidents as an excuse to be more aggressive, but if they want to be more aggressive, they just gonna be more aggressive. They was gonna be more aggressive anyway, and they was looking for a reason. They were looking for a reason. Because again, it ain't like in the past 365 days, there have been 365 police attacked in Cincinnati and, put in the hospital. Then I'd say, man, oh my God, we really got a problem. I would say we really got a problem. Somebody want to offer me some promotion of my channel. Thank you, but no thank you. Thank you, but no thank you. Not that it's good that it happened. I don't know that we're at epidemic proportions. I don't know that we're at epidemic proportions. But that's pretty much all I have to say about that. Because I don't really think there's a whole lot to say about it. Well, where's all the people when police do something to people, when they want to cry foul and they want to this and they want to rally and they want to protest? Where y'all at now that something happened to the police? Well, nowhere, because it was taken care of. It was handled. It was handled. But I find it interesting when I hear people saying stuff like that. Like, look, the police chief showed up. The police chief basically held a press conference. They packed the room. I say packed. They showed up in large numbers to basically put out the message that this is unacceptable. We want to make sure this person gets an appropriate bond or no bond or whatever. They did the same thing that we do. It's not bad when we do it. It's not bad when we do it. When the next police officer attacks, beats, kills an unarmed black man, I want to hear those same people yelling, where's the police officers to be showing up and making sure that you're not going to see that. You're not going to hear that. Because it's not reasonable. It's not reasonable. And what would I be showing up to protest for? Right? A guy attacked a police officer. Citizens and police officers put him off. He was arrested. He went to jail. He was charged. What would I be protesting? I don't think you would see the same level of protest if when police officers kill people, harm people, beat people, police officers step in, pull them off, arrest them, they go to jail, and they get charged. People would be like, this is new. Wow. That officer beat that guy. Those officers put him off, arrested him, and then he went to court. And Melissa Powers says if one of our police officers beats a citizen, he should be prepared to go to prison, and he's charged with like some real heavy charges. Felonious assault. Like, yes, people would not be out there protesting. Because what would they be protesting? So it's not fair. It's not fair to, where's all the people who protest when law enforcement do something wrong? Well, I don't see y'all out there now that the police just got beat up. I don't see y'all out there now. There's no reason for them to be. Stop that. Stop that. Be reasonable. Be reasonable. Stop it. Nobody just gets away with beating police if they get caught. Trust, nobody just gets away with that. You really think there's a chance that the outcome of this will be, well, somebody call police and attack them. We're not going to release the name of the person who attacked law enforcement for their protection. And we're not going to arrest them and actually put them in jail. We're going to put them on, they don't get to go to work for the next 30 days while we investigate. They don't get to go to work. Yeah, they attacked a police officer, but they don't get to go to work for the next 30 days. They're on administrative leave. And his family gets to do the investigation. You're not going to see that. And that's a huge difference. That's a huge difference. Marry either with or without pay, but usually with pay. Yeah, he attacked a police officer, but he's suspended from his job with pay, pending the outcome of the investigation that we're allowing his mother, his father, and his two sisters to conduct. You're not going to see that ever. So it's different. So stop trying to apply that standard unless you change that standard. Just for the record, I don't want to see that happen. Just because people, he said he wants somebody to be able to attack the police and then just be suspended from their job. No, I'm not saying that. I'm pointing out the ridiculousness of acting as if they're the same. They're not. They're not. Or they're not treated the same. All right. I think that's about it. That's all I got to say about that. There's not much more to say. Except for, yes, we do need, people do need uh services, when mental health services, when they need them, and they should be more readily available. Even though, again, I'm not an advocate, because at least for me, so far in my life, I haven't experienced a lot of times when anyone that I know or in my family needed mental health services. To my knowledge, I haven't seen it. So I can't be like, man, we needed some services and it wasn't no services there, because I haven't experienced that. Oh, man, we needed some services, but it was like too expensive to do it. And I haven't experienced that. We needed some help and it wasn't no help out there. I haven't experienced that. So I can't even really speak to whether or not services are available, if they're reasonable, if they're accessible, or any of that kind of stuff. I can't speak to that. So I don't know. So I'm not qualified to speak to the mental health aspect of this. Just not qualified to do it. Uh Anthony, I think, talking about mental health services and medication for mental health. Says a lot of cats with issues stop taking meds because it messes with their Johnson reaction. Oh, well, that's terrible. They need to develop meds that don't do that. D says it's resources, but you have to be on it, like damn near big. Okay. Okay. And again, I'm not qualified to say one way or the other because I don't know. I don't know. I don't have any personal experience with trying to get resources or anything like that. So, all right, that's that. Um, Yesterday, I wasn't on yesterday, but let me tell you what I did yesterday. And I wrote some numbers down. This is very important. If you don't know anything about me, here's what I want you to know about me. Here's what I want you to know about me. I love saving money. I love saving money. Um, I'm one of these people who, if I can do it myself and save money, if I can do it, like it's something that I honestly can either have the skills to effectively do it or learn quickly to do it and do it effectively and save significant money, I will do it. I will do it. From uh repiping the house to fixing a car. If I can do it, I would do it. Well, in this particular instance, it wasn't me who needed the help. Remember, I was on the phone, or I was on the air. Of course, not yesterday, day before. I told you I got a call from my daughter. Yeah, I got a call from my daughter. Basically, she was hearing something with her brakes, and I had told her, go get it checked out. I'm a big proponent of using services that people offer. And I know there are places that offer free brake inspections, and they'll tell you what you need. Here's what's wrong with you. You know, you need some new brake pads, and that's what it is. That squeaking that you hear, they put this little thing on brake pads, so once they get to a certain level, and it'll start squeaking. That's to let you know your brake pads are low. It's time to change and get some new brake pads. I'm big. Go get a free brake inspection. When she was calling me, she went and got a brake inspection, and they told her basically her brakes what she needed for her brakes. And they quoted her, I wrote the number down, $2,071.93. $2,071.93. Basically, they said everything in the back need to be replaced. You need new calipers, you need new rotors, you need new pads. Everything got to be replaced. And this is how much it's going to cost. Parts and labor. Now, on the call, I told her, look, bring the car here, bring me the paper, let's look at it. All right. And actually, no, they didn't tell her. They told her one of the calipers on one of the sides, I don't remember if it was the left or the right. One of the calipers was fine. The other one needed to be replaced, but all of the rotors and pads needed to be replaced. And her front struts needed to be replaced as well. That's included in here as well. $2,071.93. And I went, I looked at it, I got the parts, I replaced everything. Cost me $354.86 for the brakes, $147.58 for the struts. Saving her $1,569.49. Yeah, that's what she saved. Hold on, because y'all know my math ain't all that good. I mean, I know my math is good on that, but I need to 147.58 plus 354.86. So I spent $502.44 on parts. And I replaced, of course, everything in the back, both calipers. Because I've always been of the mindset is, look, if you got matching pieces on each side, one side goes bad, replace both. Because if that side went bad, it's a good chance, not 100%, that the other side is either going to go bad or, something. So just replace it. Replace it. So from $2,071.93, I spent $502.44. $502.44 on parts. And I buy the good parts. Like I do. When I go in and I look, I go online. Their prices are normally cheaper online. So if you go like Rock Auto or what's the other one? I got it up here on my computer. Hold on. What's this one? Rock Auto, Parts Geek. You'll typically find parts cheaper there. So, if you go to the store, your AutoZones, all that kind of stuff, and they a lot of times they'll have, these are good, these are better, these are best in parts. If you want the best, of course you pay a little more. But if you go online, a lot of times you can find those same parts, like exact same name brand. It's not so much at AutoZone. They do Duralast, and pretty much, that's what that is. But you can find them, those same parts, sometimes for more than 50% off. Like that's their normal price. So she got good parts, premium everything. But that's what I had to do yesterday in the rain. In the rain. Yes, it rained on me while I was out there. And she was out there holding an umbrella. I told her, you gonna watch. Cause I done taught this little girl how to put on brakes. We've been putting on brakes since she was 9. Cause she loves to tell this story about me hitting her with a hammer. And it's not what it sounds like. I was using the hammer uh, to kind of loosen up the rotor on one of my jobs, and it was an older hammer, and the head of the hammer flew off, and it barely grazed her. But she liked to swear, "Oh, you hit me with that hammer. And you've been out here with me watching me do breaks." Anthony, I'm going to. I haven't really been out there. I did some stuff on my wife's car not too long ago. I don't know if y'all remember that, but I did some stuff on my wife's car. Feel like a month ago, but I'm not out there all that much. Hold on, get one of them pop up canopies. Yeah, but I'm going to. I was looking at them. I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna be out here in the rain and the sweltering heat. I guess it'll still be hot, but in the rain and the snow and all that kind of stuff. So I'm going to get me one. I'm going to get me one. But yeah, we got out there and I made her, come out and watch, and I made her help. I made her help because I'm big on, yes, and yeah, the little baby was out there too. She made the little baby come out. I thought the little baby would have been fine in the house. But she made the little baby come out, and she said, if I had to be out here learning how to do brakes when I was her age, I'm like, you was older than her. But if I had to be out here learning to do brakes when I was her age, then she got to be out here learning to do brakes at her age. So I'm like, okay. Okay. Mary says, you could have poured her car in the garage. I could not have. My garage is so full, no cars go in there. I don't, it's not me. Mrs. Livingston uses it for storage, and it just ain't even worth the fight. It ain't even worth the fight. Mrs. Livingston, it's a storage room now. It's not worth the fight. I do good to get my lawnmower, my chipper, you know what I'm saying, my tools in there. So a car was definitely not going in there. But yeah, now we got out there. It took us about 3.5 hours to do the whole job. Took us about 3.5 hours to do the whole job. And she was satisfied. She felt like she did something. She felt like she did something. But she did. She was out there. She held the umbrella. And, she's still learning stuff. I'm like, I showed you all of this stuff. Why can't you do this? She actually gonna tell me she don't know what these things is for. She was holding up the brake pads. I don't understand what these is for. Like, that's the stuff that stop you. How do you not know this stuff? You've been watching since you was 8. But I'm saying all of that to say, that's why I wasn't here yesterday. It actually wasn't Gospel Superfest stuff yesterday. I needed to get her car taken care of because, that's very important. That's very important. Myosha says, F all that. I ain't changing no brakes. F around and my car won't stop when I need it to. And really, that's the whole issue. Y'all remember, maybe y'all don't remember. There's a little saying where they talk about one of the greatest tricks that the devil ever pulled on, I guess, humanity is convincing people that he didn't exist. One of the greatest tricks that mechanics have pulled on the general public is convincing them that this stuff is exceptionally difficult and you have to have this special set of skills. And that's not necessarily the case. A lot of this, I keep going through this with y'all, and I'm going to keep doing it until some of y'all be like, you know what, Emanuel, you right. I'm going to learn how to do this. And I saw my niece says, teach me anytime. And when I say anytime, Chelsea, you call me and you say, I want to learn how to change my brakes. I will show you. You say, I want to learn how to change my shocks or my struts or my this or that. I will show you. I will teach you, and you will be able to do it, and you will be very confident doing it. Now, yeah, you have to have some tools, but I don't really have no specialty tools. And almost all the specialty tools that you need, a lot of times you can rent them from the auto parts stores. Sean says on any car. I don't know about any car, all right? And I say that trying to like hedge my bets. On your general, like I ain't never changed no brakes on no Bugatti. And my mind is probably the same. And my mind is probably the same, but I don't know. But in general, yes. On any car. On any car. It's brakes. It's shocks. It's struts. It's a lot of this stuff is really simple. But it felt good knowing that I saved her almost $1,600 just with 3 hours of work. And if it wouldn't have rained, then I'd have probably got it done in about 2. That hammer that I destroyed was replaced many, many, many years ago. That happened probably when she was 9 years old. Probably when she was about 9 years old. But yeah, me and her and that little baby were out there, fixing cars. And I went on ahead and I say, I don't know what the appropriate terminology is for this. I replaced the brake fluid in her car. It's bleeding the brakes, but you bleed the brakes until all the old brake fluid is gone, and it's just new, good, clear brake fluid. Because she didn't know that her brake fluid was not supposed to be brown. And look, if you don't know, if you don't, a lot of people don't know, but brake fluid is pretty much, it's almost clear. It's almost clear. So when we going through and getting out all the brake fluid, and she like, I don't see no problem. And then I'm like, this is what the brake fluid is supposed to look like, and poured a little bit into a little container so she could see. And she like, oh, I didn't know that. I'm like, yes. So this is bad brake fluid. This is good brake fluid. Just little stuff. Marquetta says, Goodyear is all I know. See, and this be my problem. And women, look, I understand. Women, for the most part, because even though she know how to do some of this stuff, she still call me. Something go wrong, my phone ring. Probably 90% of the time that she called me, I always expect something is wrong. I do most of the calling. So, hey, little girl, how you doing? Hey, little girl, how was your day? Hey, little girl, is everything all right? Hey, little girl, how your car running? Hey, little girl, how the little baby doing? Hey, little girl, you know what I'm saying? That's what I do. 90% of the time that she called me. Daddy, what? I got a flat tire. That's why I got you AAA. You get more flat tires. We just put brand new tires on the car. How you get another flat tire? Can you come and change my tire? You know how to change a tire. I know, but I don't want to get up under no car. You don't actually get under the car to change the tire. You just put the jack under there. You don't climb under the... But I know what she mean, and I usually go. But I know that she know. And the reason that she doesn't call AAA when she's on the highway, I had to fuss at her one time. Told her, you are putting my life in jeopardy. It was like 2 o'clock in the morning. It was raining cats and dogs, and she's on 75 North. Cars are just not a whole lot of them because it's 2 o'clock in the morning, but they just, you know how they do. They speeding by. And I'm like, I'm out here on the side of the highway changing a tire. I said, that's why you got AAA. Because my life is not in danger. Like, they got them trucks and they still in danger. They got trucks and then they had little lights and all that kind of stuff to let people know, hey, I'm out here. I ain't got none of that. I'm just here. But she was like right up the street from the house. And so it didn't make sense for me to make her, because y'all know when you call AAA, sometimes you got to wait an hour before they get there or so. Now, it don't make sense for me to have her sitting on the side of the highway for an hour and a half when I can be there in 8 minutes. Don't take that long to change a tire. So I can have her out of there in 20 minutes. And then she had to, so I went on ahead and went up there. But 90% of the time, that's what she's calling me for. But I understand a lot of ladies, I know. Y'all don't know how to do stuff. And I blame your daddy. And maybe your daddy didn't know, but I blame, men. If you are handy, teach your sons and daughters. They may never do it. My daughter may never change a tire. But she will never be in a situation where she doesn't know how and she's 100% reliant on somebody else to do that for her. I know I just said it, she calls me, but if she could get out there and do it, because I've shown her, she could change brakes. Okay, maybe not. I don't know how effective she would be, but the idea is that she understands. She knew enough to know $2,071.93. My daddy can do that and probably save me a whole lot of money. She knew enough to know that, to call me and say, Daddy, they trying to charge me this much money. Can we just buy it? You know what I'm saying? She knew enough to say that. So dads and moms too, you know what I'm saying? Moms too. Like, if you know how to do something, pass it on to your child. Pass it on to your children. Pass it on to, like, I threw it out there, and I'm kind of apologizing to Chelsea. She's my niece. But I called all my nephews. I told them, look, here's what I want to do. And I was so serious. And of course, my son. I was so serious. I said, here's what I want to do. At least once a month, I want us to get together and work on something. Either work on a car, work on a house, work on, all of these little things so that what y'all don't know how to do, y'all can learn how to do. So I said, look, if anybody need breaks, then we can once a month, all of us, me, my brothers, and my nephews, and my son, we can all come together and we can all do this. And then that way everybody know how to change brakes. Everybody was just too busy. Oh, Unc, I would love to, but I'd be so busy. Oh, Unc, I'm like, once a month. I didn't throw it out there to my nieces, which I probably should have. There is a really good chance that if I would have threw it out there to all my nieces once a month, I would be out there with a gang of girls teaching them how to do stuff. But my nephews, yeah, I'm talking about y'all, they didn't want to do it. But at least, you know what I'm saying, you throw it out there. Jail says you should have called your nieces. I'm thinking about it. I probably should have, but I did. I called every one of them boys. I called them, tried to set it up, and it just never happened. It never happened. So, all right, Angel and Chelsea, here's what I'm gonna say. Y'all, I'm gonna put some work on y'all. Y'all get up with all of the nieces and sisters. That's right. Call your mama. Call your aunt friend. Call your aunt Nita. Get them all together, and we can get together once a month, and y'all can learn how to do this stuff. Y'all can learn how to do this stuff. Because believe it or not, it is exceptionally simple. Now, stuff that's not, because there's some stuff that's not that simple. I'm not going to mess up nothing that I don't know how to do. So, that look a little too difficult. I'm not messing with that. But yes, Marquetta, your brake fluid should be, it's not 100% clear. It's about like you ever seen Crisco, the oil, not in the tub with the white stuff, but Crisco oil, maybe a little lighter than that, color wise. That's what your brake fluid should look like. That's what it should look like. And I'm probably flushing her when I come back. I'm probably gonna flush her her I don't know why I'm drawing a blank right now. It's green. It goes in the radiator. Coolant. I'm getting old, y'all. I'm probably flush her coolant when I come back because I want to flush it, before the winter comes. So I'll flush her coolant, get that whole system cleaned out, and new fluid in there. So she'll, her brake fluid. Of course, I try to make her get her oil changed on a regular basis. Anthony says, people remember to check the spare when checking your tire pressure. Yes, definitely check the spare. Definitely. And one of the things that I normally do, this is just, and it don't work because I've had some cars that I couldn't do it. Go and the little spare, they give you that little donut. They give you I call it the donut, the little spare. I go to the U Pull and Pay and grab a full size tire for whatever the car is that I have. And then I put that full size tire, that becomes my spare. So that I don't ever have to drive around with the little donut. And so when I get my tires rotated, I rotate the spare in there so that, all my tires kind of wear the same. So instead of buying 4 tires when I buy a set, I buy 5. But if something happens to my tire and I have to change it, it's a full-size tire that's on there. You just go to the U Pull and Pay place, and a lot of times there's a lot of meat on those tires. And I want to say because it's been a minute, but I think it was like $20, $25 maybe, for a full-size tire for your car as a spare. Then you don't have to worry about that little donut. Oh, you can't go higher than 55 miles an hour. No, you just boom, and then you take that tire that's flat, get that one either fixed or get a new tire. Just something to think about. Just something to think about. Myosha says, the spare on my car is full-size tire, which I love. Donut tires suck. Well, what? What you driving? Rolls Royce or no? You driving the G wagon? The G wagon, which I didn't even know what that was. I didn't even know what that was. So I imagine they put a full size spare on there. Scott says they won't have it for my car. Interesting. What, you got one of them big fancy cars too? You got one of them fancy cars too? I've seen people ride that donut tire to the hills. Scott says it's a 2023. That don't necessarily mean, look, there's a good chance they won't, but there's also a good chance, which a lot of people don't know this, and I don't know why. Like, okay, her car is a 2014. My daughter, it's a 2014. But the same parts translate. I think it's from the 2009 to the 2017 model. All those, they make very small changes. So almost everything in that line is the exact same. So I can go get a tire from a 2009 or a tire from a 2017 Honda Accord, and they're all going to be the same. So what I'm saying, Scott, is your car is a 2023. There's a good chance, unless it's the first model year of that car, probably the last 6, 7, maybe even 8 years, go get a tire from, I'm going to just say Buick. You got a 2023 Buick LaCrosse, go get a tire from a 2017 Buick LaCrosse. It's the same tire, same size. I mean, it might not have the same design wheel, but it's the same size. Okay, hold on. I saw something from my niece. She says, I also attend YouTube University, so I could probably learn myself, but I think it would be a better experience learning from you. It would. It would. Because there's something to watching it being done, and you can, kind of do it. But then once you do it, look, something always goes wrong. Something always goes wrong. I've only had maybe two instances of working on a car where everything went the way it was supposed to go. Bolts don't like to come off. They don't. So getting it, and sometimes, I got a few different breaker bars, and sometimes they don't work. What's a breaker bar, Emanuel? Breaker bar, basically, you know what a socket is? Somebody might not even know what a ratchet is. A little wrench where you put it on and you turn it, and then it click back and click, 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 and you turn it, and it click back and forth. A breaker bar is basically one of those that's this long. And then I got one that's this long. And the longer it is, the more torque it puts on the easier it is to turn it for something that's hard. And I've had the longest breaker bar that I have on a bolt, and I still couldn't get it off. I've had to use a torch to heat up bolts to get them off. I've only had maybe 2 instances of fixing cars where everything went the way it was supposed to go. Maybe 2. And I might be exaggerating. It might only be 1. So, yeah, watching it on YouTube and then actually doing it, they do make me mad sometimes watching on YouTube. Especially the ones where you watch it and, they the mechanics and they do it. And it's like y'all ain't really working on a used vehicle, especially one from the Rust Belt. Because everything on that looked pristine, and y'all just get on there and turn it, and everything loosen up like it's supposed to, and everything, and I've never, well, again, one time I've had that happen, maybe 2. but they show you what's supposed to happen. And you got to get under there and you got to make it happen. So, you learn different things and different tricks to make things happen that don't want to happen the way they're supposed to happen. Jack says, well, sometimes you have to use special sockets. And I was saying, when you need specialty tools, a lot of times, not all the times, but a lot of times, you can go get specialty tools and you can rent them. And when I say rent them, I mean loan. You don't actually have to pay for them. Like, you got to give them a deposit because, they want their tool back. So you might have to give them a $75 deposit. Then you borrow the tool, you take it home, you do the job. For me, you clean the tool up, put it back in the thing, take it back, and you get your $75 back. And a lot of times, and a lot of times, I don't even remember what I bought. A lot of times, though, I just buy the specialty tools. Because, look, I'm one of these guys who I'm going to keep my car. I'm going to keep my car until it don't run no more. And then usually, I'm going to keep it until I just decide to buy a new car. And either the car don't run or I decide to buy a new car. And then I'll give that old car to somebody else. Don't get me talking about the vet and what happened to the vet when I gave it to my little brother. But yeah, so for me, if I need a specialty tool, I'm going to have that car for hopefully 10 years. It's worth the investment to buy that tool if it's something that I'm going to need repeatedly. That's what I do. That's what I do. But either way, that's what I was doing yesterday. As always, I appreciate y'all patience. I appreciate y'all patience. But, hey, sometimes, and like I said, 3 hours. So that I look at it like this: the $1,569.49 was what was saved doing the job. 3 hours of work. I'm just gonna kind of round it. That 1,500 divided by 3, I made about $500 an hour, or she saved about $500 an hour. I don't think that that's a bad deal. I don't think that's a bad deal. I wish I had some sort of a certification or something like that. Like, if I were a mechanic, I would do classes. I would, in particular for women, but a lot of men don't know either. But in particular for women, I would do classes like on Saturdays. Like, I'm going to show y'all how to change y'all oil. Now, I actually, believe it or not, I still pay to get my oil changed. But if I'm ever in a position where I don't mind driving up on them ramps, changing your oil is one of the easiest things you can do. Change your oil and your oil filter. It's one bolt. You loosen one bolt, the oil drips into the pan. You put that bolt back, you take off the oil filter, you get the new one, kind of lubricate the little thing there, screw it in, tighten that bolt, put your oil in. That's it. That's what you paying them people, however much you paying. I'm almost to the point where I'm like, I'm not going back there. I'm not going back there. I'm not paying y'all, what was it, $65 or whatever it was to change my oil. Daryl says, my car wasn't putting out heat last winter, I'm going to assume. And I was going to take it in to get checked out. But I decided to go on YouTube to see how I can fix it myself. And all it was a small dirty part. I cleaned it, put it back in, and I had heat. A repair shop would have charged me over $1,000 for doing the same thing. Absolutely. Absolutely. LaDonna says, I'm going to YouTube because mine is black. Your what is black? I don't know what's black. What's black? LaDonna, that you go into YouTube to figure out? Yeah, your oil shouldn't be black. What do you do with the old oil? Take it to the auto places up the street from me. They take the old oil. So I take the oil pan that I let everything drip into, just take it up there. They got these gigantic drums, and you just pour it in the drum, and that's that. End of story. I guess they take it and they recycle it or whatever it is that they do with it. So yeah, that's what I do with the old oil when I do change my oil. Which talking to y'all about that, I'm gonna change my oil. I'm not taking it up because it's time now. It's time for me to change my oil. So I'm gonna change my oil probably Saturday. Seven says it's cheaper to do it yourself. It is cheaper to do it yourself. Again, I understand. I'm not even criticizing people who do stuff for convenience sake. I'm not criticizing people who do stuff for convenience sake. Not at all. Anthony says that's one of the things some people don't know. I remember when I first figured this out, my mind was blown over something so small. The car has two air filters, one engine and one for the cabin or inside. Mine is behind the glove box. So is mine. Yeah, if you take your glove, open your glove box. Usually it's, you kind of got to push it in on the sides, take it out, and you'll look back there, and there'll be an air filter. There'll be an air filter. No, Daryl. No. Daryl says, or talking about how do you get rid of the old oil? So I pour it in the street drain like my neighbor does. No. No. Oh, that is funny. That is funny. Jack says he puts his old oil in a jug and just drop it off. But yeah, no, where the up the street from me, it's actually a couple of places, and I'd go in and I say, the first few times I'm like, I got some oil, and they're like, okay, you can go and take it back. I didn't know what they meant the first time. Go ahead and take it back. I knew it said that y'all, take old oil. But then somebody showed me like, oh no, you walk behind the counter and then basically to the back of the store, and it's this big drum there. It's this big drum there. And then you just pour it in. I was like, oh, that's what okay, I didn't know. Anthony says the shop will charge $25 for it. It costs $5 at AutoZone. Where I go, they do it for free. Like they didn't charge me anything. It's just go pour it in there. There was no charge to it. Daryl says, is this a throwback show of the auto mechanic show from the early days of the Buzz? It is not. It is not. The car doctor, that's my dude. I like the car doctor. That's my dude. That's all I have to say about that. And if Lincoln Ware sees this, you don't have to bring nothing up. Oh, Anthony's talking about the cabin air filter. Oh, yeah. If you go where you go, and that's with both of your air filters. If you go where you go to get your oil change, Jiffy Lube, something like that, and they trying to sell you an air filter, yeah, he was saying it'll be $25 there. You can get it for $5 at the auto parts store. Yeah, no doubt about it. No doubt about it. LaDonna wanted to know, isn't the oil heavy? No, it ain't that much. That's only like, maybe 3-4 quarts. It's not that much. And then, for me in my oil drain pan, it's probably about this big. I don't know. It's only about this big. So I just take it, I carry it, I hold it's got a little thing on it, a little spout. So I hold it by the spout and it's got a handle, and you just carry it. It ain't that heavy. Not heavy at all. Logic Slayer says, name the shop, please. I'm not sure. You're talking about where I take my oil? Advanced Auto Parts. I take my oil in there and they just take it on back there. You pour it in and that's that. Don't cost you nothing. Don't cost you nothing. But yeah, I encourage you, if you are a person who knows how to do some of this stuff, and if you got questions, like Marquetta was on here. Marquetta said she didn't know that her oil wasn't supposed to be brown. Not oil. That her brake fluid wasn't supposed to be brown. Yeah, it's not. Brown is bad. Brown is bad. But how could you know that unless somebody tell you? And I don't, even now, I've never heard anybody talking about uh just, I hear people talk about oil changes. I hear people talk about flushing your system and your transmission, but I very rarely hear people talk about uh changing out your brake fluid. And when I hear people talk about when I hear people talk about um even bleeding your brakes, they're talking about more about getting air out of the line. Jack says brown is good, milky is bad. Brown is not good. Brown is not good. Brown isn't like evil, but it shouldn't be brown. I was taught, and when I was attending YouTube University, brown basically means that there's some rust and corrosion in the fluid. Get that brown fluid out of there. Yeah, no, I'm not talking about oil. I'm talking about brake fluid. Brake fluid. Yeah, we're talking about brake fluid. Complete brake line flush. Absolutely. Absolutely. And I had the little baby looking. Because y'all know I do the little thing with the Gatorade bottle. Because it's a simple process, you know. So I do the little thing with the Gatorade bottle. And I had it up there. And so as I had the little girl pushing the pedal, I had the little baby in the back looking. And she wanted to help. So I told her, you just look at it and you tell me when you stop seeing bubbles. It still got bubbles, grandfather. All right, well, let me know when it don't. Still bubbles. All right, let me know when it don't. Still bubbles. All right, let me know when it don't. I don't see any more bubbles, grandfather. All right. What color is the fluid coming out? Said it is almost clear. It's hazy. I said, I'm pretty sure that means it's good. It ain't brown no more. It's not brown. It's hazy. Okay. Hazy will work. Hazy will work. But how do you know that if nobody tells you? You don't know that if nobody tells you. So I'm encouraging people to tell people. And if you got questions, look, I'm not an auto mechanic, but if you got questions, I think it's probably enough people who watch. I know a little bit, but if nothing else, we can look. But I promise y'all, I wish I could say, hey, bring your car over. Now, if you are my friend, if you are my friend, then I would tell you to bring your car over. I've had friends bring their cars over who have come to me talking about they trying to charge me $2,000 for my. I only said that because of this number, but they trying to charge me this much for my brake. Bring your car over to my house. We'll change them. We'll change them. But I can't just have just everybody dropping their car off at my house. Oh, I kind of have to know you. I kind of have to know you. Car repair and dinner. Yeah, that would be good. How often are you supposed to get breaks? I think you supposed. Well, here's what I would say, because this is I don't have like a schedule, but typically on your car, on your brake pads, at least they put a little thing on there that as your brake pads wear down, and I forget exactly what they call it. As your pads wear down, there's a little tab that'll start rubbing up against your rotor, and it'll create this squealing noise. When you hear that squealing noise the first time, it's time for you to, at the very least, get your brake pads replaced or replace them yourself. There are certain tolerances. There are certain tolerances that your rotor should be at. I'm not qualified to tell you what that is. Metric says indicator. I'm not sure what you're saying, Metric. Indicator. What you talking about? Scott also says the indicator. Somebody says brake sensor. I'm not sure what y'all saying. She's asking how often should you get your brakes? Are you supposed to get brakes? But it's multiple processes in there. It's multiple processes in there. I'll tell you, with regard to my brake fluid, I try to flush the lines once a year. Once a year, I try to flush the lines. Don't cost that much, but $8, depending on the brake fluid that you get, $8, $9. I saw some of them yesterday up to $12 for the big bottle of brake fluid. And for me, that's enough to flush out the whole line. So for $11 a year, I keep my fluid clean. Then when my pads wear down, I replace them. I hear the squealing. I take the old pads off, put the new pads on. I typically don't have problems with my calipers. So I don't know exactly how to answer that question. But they put a little thing on your brake pads, and it rubs up against your rotor, and it starts squealing, and that lets you know it's time to. Oh, Scott says that little thing on the brake is called your indicator. Oh, okay. So there you go. I didn't know that was what it was called. That wasn't what I actually heard it called, but it might be. A few of y'all said that, so I'll take y'all word for it. Jack says, yeah, it indicates that it's time. I'll take y'all word for it. That wasn't what I heard it referred to as, and I can't remember what I heard it referred to as, and it don't matter. It's not all that important. I'll just accept that y'all are right. Yeah, car repair, discount, and a free dinner. All on the side of the road. um, Anthony says sometimes noise can be from brake dust too. Not that your brake pads are bad. I think, at least from my perspective, when that indicator starts doing it, that's always been a very distinct noise that's very much different than brake dust or, anything like that. Every car that I've had, when it gets down and the indicator is rubbing up against the rotor, you can't ignore it like you can, a little squealing from brake dust. But I don't. For me, every once in a while, I just walk around and look at my brakes and all that kind of stuff. Make sure everything just look good. Hold on. Anything else? Anything else? There was something else that I wanted to actually talk about. I was just saying all of that to let y'all know where I was yesterday. Let y'all know, which I keep trying to remind y'all, it's okay. It's okay to save money doing things yourself. You can save money. Now look, if I had a whole lot of disposable income, like say I'm Myosha, and I have a whole lot of just disposable income, I don't know what to do with it. I'm like, Scrooge McDuck, just bathing in, making it rain on myself for fun. If I'm Myosha, I'm probably, well, I don't know about that because I kind of like working on cars. So every once in a while, no, here's the truth. If I had it my way and I was like Myosha, I would have a lift in my garage. I would have a big garage, very well lit, and of course ventilated. And I would have a lift, and I would just work on my own car. I wouldn't, again, the only things that I would do would be things that I can't do. But everything else, I would do myself. But if you are, what I'm saying, you got money like that, I'm it is what it is. You can pay somebody to do everything. I imagine Myosha goes to the auto parts store in her G wagon, and they tell her, uh, you need rear brakes. That's gonna be $8,000. She just like, all right, let me go dig in the uh, seats and see how much money I got in there, and probably come back with $8,000 cash that she just dug out the seat. But me, nope, nope. I don't have it like that. But I'm not against Myosha. I'm not against rich people doing rich people stuff. You told me you was getting a G Wagon. I know you got the Lexus, but I thought you were also getting a G Wagon. Because again, I didn't even know what a G Wagon was. I had legitimately never heard the term. Um, what else was it? There was something else. There was something else that I wanted to discuss with y'all today. Okay, hold on. All right, sorry about that. Another one of those calls I had to take. Um, BG video at the hair salon. Have y'all seen it? Okay, what video is this? What video is this? I haven't seen it, to answer your question. And David's, did I miss the afternoon experiment? I can't see the rest of that. Hold on, I guess I can if I, because that message actually didn't come up on my screen. Friend of the week. I don't. Who is BG? What is BG? What is BG? What is? Who is BG? Hold on. For those of you who just kind of chilling, I want to say like the show is like officially over. I appreciate y'all. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Be the reason that somebody smiles today. And now I'm trying to find out who is BG. And what is the video? Myosha says the 11-year-old Lexus. Don't be making it sound like mine is new. Hot Boys, Cash Money, Baby Gangster. I don't know any of those people. I don't know any of those people. But there was something else. Uh, I can hang out for a few more minutes because one of the calls that I just got is the Bible study is canceled for the evening. So I got a few more minutes to hang out. And because I was late, I figured I'll hang out for a few more minutes. But I know some people had to leave. And if you had to leave, thank you for joining. I appreciate your support. But yeah, no, I don't know nothing about all of this rap stuff. Sorry. I don't know nothing about all of this rap stuff. Oh, got Key is calling in. Key, how you doing? Oh, hold on. Key?
Hey, what's going on, Emanuel? Your phone line messed up?
Uh, it might be, but hold on. I might be able to fix it. Hold on just a second.
Okay.
Key? Oh, wait a minute. No, I did that wrong. No, I did it right. Key, can you hear me? All right, I'm not hearing Key now. Hold on a minute, Key. Hold on. All right, Key, can you hear me now? All right, I did something bad. Let me undo what I just did.
Tell me if I can hear me in the chat.
Okay, I can hear you now, Key.
Okay, you can hear me now?
Yes. But
Okay,
it
do it
my
sound weird?
yeah, no, my line is still messed up, but it's fine.
Oh, okay. I was about to say, I was just calling to say, hey. I'll call you another time. I was just saying, hey, and supporting and saying, hey, everybody in the chat.
All right, Key, I appreciate you.
Okay. All righty, everybody. I'll talk to y'all later. You may get it together. Now, since you done worked on that car, go ahead and work on that phone line.
Key, I'm gonna figure it out. I'm gonna figure it out. If I'm here tomorrow, well, I can't promise because this might
I
be
know.
it might be a problem with the
Yeah.
service and not
Yeah.
necessarily a problem with me. But
Oh, okay. So you
I will
pay your
know.
bill?
Yeah, no, if I didn't pay the bill, then I wouldn't be able to talk to you at all. But if
Nah, you probably did some MacGyver stuff and wired it up for the show.
yeah, no, I use this service called myopenphone.com. And so,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
I'm able to take that and pull it off of there and then send that through the audio board here.
Who owns that? China?
I have no idea.
Okay, I've never heard of it. I'm just messing with you, man. You. Okay, all right, everybody. I'll call you back. And you gonna be here none next week, huh?
No,
Okay, is who replacing you?
I don't know. Nobody stepped
I
up.
mean, not replacing you, but I mean, I can fill in for you, but all they can get is a vlog of me vlogging around town.
Huh?
I said all I would be able to do is vlog around town, like, hey everybody, I'm going live, and here we go, running errands.
I think that'd be enough. I think they'll take that.
Oh, you think so? I gotta
Yeah.
make it. Okay, so wait, Keith filling in for E. Is that what it should
Yes.
be called?
Yeah. Hold on. I'm trying to see if I can pull this up over here. If I could pull up the. What do you mean the email address is not valid? It's 100% valid. That's my email address. Okay. Now they're telling me to check my email for a code. I'm trying to get this phone together. First, they tell me my email address ain't valid. And then they tell me they just sent me a code, but I just checked my email and I don't have said code. Oh, wait a minute. All right, now I got it. All right, now I need to see something. Y'all forgive me if y'all happen to hear some audio playing. Okay, I hear that. All right, now I need somebody to call me. 513 717 5464. 513 717 King. Just call me understanding that I'm trying to work out the kinks of this system. So it may or may not sound great. As a matter of fact, I don't think it will. All right, Brent, can you hear me? All right.
Testing. 1, 2, 3. Microphone checker. 1, 2 checker.
Okay, I can hear you, and it doesn't sound like you are breaking up.
Oh, okay. That is great. That is great. So how's everything going?
Everything's going all right. Now, online, can y'all... All right, thank you, Anthony. Now, Anthony's calling me. I got Brent on the line. So everybody say you can hear him. And how does it sound to you guys? Say that. Not everybody calling. I appreciate y'all. Hold on, let me figure this out, and then y'all can call. Brent, say something so the people can hear you again. Make sure you sound good.
All right. We can review WrestleMania 32. All the matches in sequential order with a minute-by-minute breakdown.
All right. They say they hear you. They say it sounds good.
Okay.
And okay, great.
All right, that's good. Are you still making adjustments?
No, I'm good.
Okay. But yeah, looks like you got a ministry, well, a quote unquote ministry, church ministry, teaching automotive repair 101.
I never thought of that.
Just the basics of even checking, or how many people even check their own oil and tire pressure and tires, Yeah, because I've had both of my sons out there with me when I was changing brakes and changing tires. And one of our friends' daughters got stuck on the side of a tollway interstate where they consistently do 80 miles an hour. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to bring him out there, and then I'll stand, about eighth of a mile down just to make sure people see us. You have the car down there flashing so they're not getting too close, but able to change the tire. So yeah, everyone should know how to change a tire. Hopefully you'll never have to do it, but you never know when you'll wind up in a bind where you have to change it in order to get out of, an unsafe condition. And you definitely don't want to be riding on your rim with a flat tire, or you'll come out of $200 plus an additional $350 to $400
Yes.
for a brand new rim, or go to a junkyard and get a rim.
All right. Somebody keep calling back to back to back. Let me get them in here.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Well, you have a good one. Now, are you taking the Chevette down there to Jacksonville? You driving?
I am not. I'm flying down, but I think I might be driving back.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I might end up
that's
driving one of the trucks with set pieces and stuff like that. I might end up driving that back.
Okay. Now, is this a gospel extravaganza?
It is a show called Gospel Superfest. And,
okay. What's the? Oh, go ahead.
And it airs on BET.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what else. What are you asking?
What percentage of the male gospel artists do you think will have a strong, firm handshake versus a weak handshake?
Actually, I have noticed a difference lately. I would say when I first started it in 2001, a whole lot of the male artists did not have a firm handshake. But the past few years, I think the overwhelming majority of them now have a firm handshake. Now, maybe, some of their background people might not have the firmest of handshakes, but
Okay.
a lot of the lead singers and the solo artists, a lot of them, they have firm handshakes. So I've noticed that change.
Okay. It sounds like they're reverting back to the days of the old gospel quartets, to where they were dropping babies at each stop on the tour.
I don't know about that,
Yeah.
but I have noticed that change. I don't really speak about it much because I don't really want to offend nobody,
Right.
but it is a change that I've noticed.
Right. But maybe if you drive one of those trucks back, you can go through Boston, so you can finally give us an update on the Horse Whisperer. What's going on with him?
I don't know. I'm gonna have to look that up. I looked last time I looked it up. I didn't see any updates, so I'll look it up again and see if I can find some updates for you.
Yeah, because I was about to say that's crimes against humanity, but I guess that's really not. It's crimes against what do you call it? Well, equestrian crimes, I guess, is what you would call it. But I say just leave him in one of those barns with a bunch of stallions and lock him in there, and I think they'll take care of him.
All right,
give him that horse justice.
Hold on, I can't let you get out of here without asking you, what did you think about the return of Nia Jax?
I haven't watched it yet.
What?
We typically don't watch Raw. We'll watch SmackDown because the writing's bad on that end of it, and we'll watch 2 out of the 3 of the AEW shows. It's just that time is not there, and my 17-year-old has a job, so that takes a lot of his time now. He works at a local sporting goods store on the weekend. So
okay, well, I didn't mean to give you a spoiler.
Oh no, I knew she was back. I see some of the reports that come through every now and then, but let's just hope she doesn't hurt anybody else. But it's hard because she's a 215-pound woman. If we're using Trump weight measurements there.
She a big girl.
Yes, she is. Yes, she is. Hey, but I wish her all the best, and hope that the other ladies work with her, and I hope that all of them get their money for as long as they can, and not get hurt.
Yeah. All right,
Whether it's
Brent.
that or whatever sport it is. But yeah.
Brent.
But all right, hey, when you take it easy, safe travels. Hopefully you're not flying Spirit Airlines
No.
down to Jacksonville.
No. No.
Well,
Hey,
that's good. But
I
yeah.
appreciate the call.
All right, take it easy.
All right. All right, that was Brent. And thank you, Anthony, and whomever the other people were who were calling to help me check the line. But okay, I got that figured out. Yeah, I like to figure stuff out. You know what I'm saying? I want the show to run good and smooth and, be problem free. So I appreciate y'all. Uh, I appreciate y'all helping me out and y'all's patience. Um, Hold on. Now I got to talk about what? Two shows, maybe. Two shows. I was not even trying to watch Lioness. Anybody seen this show, Lioness, on Paramount Plus? It's got Zoe Saldana and some other people. She's the only one that I know. No, it's got the one white lady. I think she was married. Was she married to Tom Cruise? Was she married to Tom Cruise, or it's got a white lady in it that is somehow connected to Tom Cruise? Zoe Saldana and a white lady that's somehow connected to Tom Cruise. The show is called Lioness. Nicole Kidman. Thank you, Daryl. But yeah, no, I watched that show. It was decent. It was decent. LaDonna says she don't have that. She need another Fire Stick. You just need some friends. You can share a password or two. But no, the show was decent. There were times when I was like, sometimes I'm watching some of these shows and I'm wondering, is this the way that the writers wrote this, or is this just bad acting? Like, is she supposed to not care, or is she supposed to be sad, but she's just not doing a good acting job? I sometimes I'm not sure. Daryl says, I've been telling you about that show. I'm sorry, Daryl. I don't remember you telling me about the show, but I thought it was just okay. I thought it was just okay. I don't know if the acting was all that good in it. I can't say for sure if the acting was good or not. If everything was acted the way it was supposed to be acted, then the level of the show goes down just a tick for me. Because some of the stuff just wasn't good. But again, I don't know if some of it was acting, if the main, because even though I guess Zoe was the main character, but I'm going to say the secondary character. Her character is supposed to show she doesn't care because of her job. I'm not talking about Zoe. I'm talking about the other girl. I'm talking about the embedded girl. There were so many things that went on that I was like, she was not good. Either she was not good at her job in the show, or she's not a good actress. One of those two things is true. She either wasn't good at her job in the show, or she's not a good actress. And it a few times it just totally took me out of the story, because I'm like, in this situation, of course I'm trying to not spoil it for anybody who's watching it, but I'm like, anybody in this situation acting like that, they would spot that in 10 seconds and they would be out of there. So I'm like, that had to be the way that it's just her bad acting. I wasn't sure, but I didn't love it. I didn't love it. I did finish that show. Oh, you have to watch the beginning of the series. She said, no, I watched it from beginning to end. I watched the entire thing. But no, she's not a good actress, or that was poor writing. One of the two. Either she's not she's not a good actress, or it was poor writing. One of the two. Um, she looked way too suspicious most of the time when we know she was supposed to be suspicious of stuff, but you're not supposed to look suspicious. You can't be looking around. Like, everybody gonna be like, "What the fuck you looking around for?" You know what I'm saying? So it just, mm-mm. It was bad. Uh, I watched that the one show that I was telling y'all about on oh, what was the, where did I watch it on? On Prime. I can't even remember the name of that show. I finished watching it. The little court show. Daryl, yeah, her undercover skills were horrible. Right. That's what I'm saying. They were horrible. And I'm like, even me, like, you couldn't pretend to be one of my friends. I ain't even doing no criminal stuff. But you couldn't even pretend, like, hey, yo, E, can I hang out with you? And I'm like, yeah, you can hang out with me. And everywhere you go, you like, I'm gonna be looking at you. Like, what the fuck you looking for? Oh, nothing. And I look back at you, and you got to go. You got to go. I don't know what you doing. I don't know what's wrong with you. I don't know, you jumpy or you something. You trying to spy. You doing something. You got to go. It was not good. It was not good. So that's why I said I don't know if that was her acting or if that's the way they wrote it. But it's what made it to the screen. So it took me out of it a few times. But I finished watching the one show, and I told you I was trying to not do spoilers. I can't remember the name of the show where the black lady is a lawyer. The man is accused of rape. He's some billionaire about to be billionaire. I can't remember the name of the show. And the star of the show got a weird name. She's a pretty lady, but she's got a weird name. And it had that one, the whispering dude in it. No, not the former city manager. The light-skinned brother that be in everything and he always whispering. That's his sexy voice. No, not the Lincoln Lawyer. It's a black show. Hold on, let me see if I can look it up. Where was that show on? Hold on. Let me call Mrs. Livingston. See if she's busy. She might be busy. She might be busy. Phone is ringing. Hey, what was the name of that show that we watched where the lady, the lawyer, and and the billionaire dude? Yeah. Well, what's the dude's name? The dude that had just got out of jail. Michael Ealy. No, it's on Hulu. No, I'm just I'm on the air. Oh, no, no, no. I called you because I wanted to know that. So I was just trying to. You didn't bother me. It's all good. I don't remember either. All right. If you think of it or if you find it, text it to me. Okay. All right. Michael Ealy is the dude's name. You know, the light skinned brother. And he whisper all the time. Hey, can we go back to my place and see what we can do about this? Oh, I'm a chef. Yeah, I make falafels, gourmet falafels. You know, that's his character. He whispers all the time. But chicks like it. I mean, I guess it's sexy to them. Hold on, let me see if I Google it. Michael Ealy show on Hulu. No, not that one. Uh, Reasonable Doubt. That was the name of the show. Reasonable Doubt. And it was everything that I thought it was going to be. It was so predictable. It was so predictable. I mean, it was all right, but it was so predictable. I like unpredictable. I like not knowing what's going to happen before it happened. Anthony say, man, my wife ain't never asked if she bothering me at work. I said something. I said I'm on the air. She was like, oh, I'm sorry. Because, they know I'm on the air. I mean, I'm on the air. So it slipped her mind that I actually was the one who called her. Yeah. LaDonna said, I figured you was talking about him. Yeah, he do. He always whisper. But, I don't know about in real life, but hey, he be whispering in the movies and he always get the draw. So, what can you say? What can you say? That's his smooth talking voice. But yeah, I watched that show. It wasn't all that amazing. What I just started watching is Hijack with Idris Elba on Apple TV Plus. I'm one episode in. I thought it was decent. I'm kind of looking forward to it. I don't really get with all of the British stuff. It's a very British show. It's a very British show. I don't really get with that. But so far, I mean, it seemed all right. So far, it seemed all right. I'm looking forward to it. And I don't know if anybody here is a Star Wars fan, but the first few episodes I enjoyed Ahsoka. This last episode, I felt like it was a big letdown. Because I was looking forward to something impactful happening. And it didn't for me. But here's what I need a good horror movie. I have to be careful when I say that because a lot of times I say horror movie and then people, be sending me the wrong kind of movies. I don't need a horror movie. I need a horror movie. Horror. Robert says, that whisper got him typecast for the gig. Yeah. It bothers me. I don't know why it bothers me. Why his whispering bothers me. It don't hurt me or nothing, of course, but it bothers me. So is Ahsoka worth watching? Yes. So far, yes, it is. I can't. This last episode, I'm going to say you can't skip it, but I don't feel like it really drove the story forward very much. There were little parts that did, but overall, like the parts that drove the story forward, we all knew was coming anyway. The rest of it was, I guess, fan service, but I'm a fan and I wasn't serviced appropriately. I love watching the old series 24. Never seen it. I've never seen a single episode of 24. When 24 was out, I was working second/third shift, and I just never watched it. I never watched a single. I think I was watching. I want to say I was watching. I was working. Either way, I've never seen a single episode of 24. Now I know what's the name, Jack something or another. Some begin with a B, don't it? Because of course I heard people talking about it, but I've never watched a single episode of that, and that is not horror. Even though that's, I might, watch it at some point. But I need a good horror movie. This is what I need. I'm asking for y'all help. I need a good horror movie. And I need a good legal drama. A good horror movie and a good legal drama. Jack Bauer. All right, yeah. That was his name, Jack Bauer. Um that's one of the issues with most television movies. They're not written well, too predictable. Yes. Daryl talking about 24 says great series. You should sit down and watch them. And yeah, the character is named Jack Bauer. I got to binge watch it. I won't be disappointed. Okay. All right. uh, Martin horror movie is called You Thought You Married a Woman. Actually, the horror movie might be the other way around. It's a horror movie for women. You thought you married a straight man. Yeah. You thought you married a straight man. I really, for the look, and I'm not necessarily talking about Marcus, because, just because. But I promise y'all, I don't understand women who marry undercover gay men. How do y'all not know? Especially the effeminate undercover gay men. How do y'all not know this? And then y'all be all disappointed. Or really, I think y'all just turn a blind eye. I didn't know he was gay. How do you not know? You didn't notice that when y'all was arguing, he was doing this? You know what I'm saying? You didn't notice that when y'all was arguing? You didn't notice when y'all was arguing that his head moved more than your head? You didn't notice that? You didn't notice when y'all was arguing that he opened his eyes real wide and blinked them too fast? You didn't notice that? That man is not a straight man. And I know all of those are like superficial things. Those are all superficial things. But come on, y'all. Y'all got to notice this stuff, women. And I think some of y'all are just like really desperate. Don't be that desperate. Don't be that desperate. And I see some of these men, and I mean, these are men that all you got to do is ask any other man. Any other man. Like, is he gay? Every man that you know that's not gay gonna be like, of course he gay. Why are you even questioning that? He doing everything but tying his shirt up around his, so his belly button can show. He doing everything but that. And you wondering, is he gay? But I'll be seeing these dudes be getting some fine women. They be getting some fine women. I'll be like, how? How? Why? Been not too long down the line, they just mysteriously divorced and don't know why. I never understood it. Never understood it. But all right, y'all. I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. Oh, it's 5:39. I think I started at like 3:30 something. So I put in my time. I appreciate y'all hanging out with me. Yes, if your man says on national radio he is homosexual as hell, believe him. He did say that. He said, I am homosexual as hell and I'm supposed to be homosexual. That's what he said. I'm not making that up. For a time, it was a promo. I don't know whatever happened to that audio. Maybe somebody made somebody delete it. But that was an actual thing that was said by an actual man on the radio. Black Lion say he tripping off of the I'ma call them lesbians with babies. Why? See now that look that makes sense to me. I understand that. I understand the desire of a woman to want to have a baby, even if she's a lesbian. I understand the desire of a woman to have a baby because this ain't gonna go over well. That's partly what she was created for. She was created in that way. Her body was designed to have a baby. So I understand that desire. Just because you don't like men doesn't mean that particular kind of natural inclination goes away. I don't understand the guy who got her pregnant. Well, hold on. Now that's the easy part to understand. Hey, dude, what? You want to have sex? Sure. That part is not confusing at all. That part is not confusing in the least. Hey, random guy, what? Would you like to have sex with me? Sure. Now, that's the least confusing part of that entire situation. Crystal is out. All right, Crystal. Make Terrence find that clip of Marcus. I can't make Terrence do nothing. I can't make Terrence do nothing. But I do. I understand lesbians wanting babies. I understand, any woman wanting babies. And it's the same way that I understand a man's inclination to have sex. I know it sounds weird, and it's almost not the same thing, but I think it's in you naturally. That's why it's in a man naturally to want to have sex, because that's by that process. It's how we, the procreation thing work. So I think that was put in us. So yeah, I understand it. All right, y'all. I am about to get out of here. I don't have to go to Bible study. So I got a few other things that I can accomplish around the house because I got a few things I had to do before I head out and get to Jacksonville. SOT says to have sex with a woman. Let's be clear. Yes. I think that is a natural desire for men. All right, y'all. I don't, LaDonna and Black Lion going back and forth. And LaDonna, one of these days, we're going to have to talk about you working at Kings Island as a 30-year-old. We're going to have to talk about that. But until then, Anthony says, the brat is a stud. I would have children with her. Okay. I understand it. It makes sense. Look, until next time, y'all, enjoy the rest of y'all day. And like I always say, I said it a little earlier, if you're going to be out and about amongst people, be the reason that somebody smiles. All right? Till next time, I'm out, y'all. Peace.